We start things out with the National Production Car Championship. And for the second time this season, they come to the home of Sasol Racing on the Sasol Race Day, and you can see lots of interactions for them. But more importantly, at the front end, the interactions are going to be between the championship rivals. Gennaro Bonafide, Simon Moss, Henny Groenewald, and Michael Steven will be probably the guys to catch around this circuit in the Audis. But look out for Van Rooyen, he'll be pushing hard, as will Graham Nathan and Charles Smallberger. A welcome return to Gary Formato, but we caught up with Christopher Kabosha from Sasol.
Motorsport forms a substantial part of our history. Over the years, we have perfected the ability to produce high-quality products, which includes the fuels and all components. The lubricants are also used in the cars, and this ensures that the technologies that are available today in the engines get high-performance premium products to utilize for racing.
Let's go and test those high-performance premium products right now in qualifying. Charles Smallberger, after a massive accident down at East London Grand Prix circuit, is now back in the running after some massive work being done by Nathan's Motorsport to get him back up there. Great effort from Bonafide, beating out Simon Moss, Henny Groenewald, Michael Steven and Michael Van Rooyen. Then Graham Nathan, Gary Formato and Charles Smallberger. That is the top of NPCCs as the checkered flag comes out. Smallberger scratching his head ever so slightly. Let's go and find out from his arch rival, Gary Formato, as he makes a welcome return to NPCC.
Hey, look, it's been a tough year, and we needed to look at our budget carefully, and of course we've got next year in mind with GTC coming along, so the local races made sense for us to do. But it's good to be back. The car's still quick. We haven't really done anything different to the car from the last race in Cape Town, so I expect it to be pretty quick, and we still have a chance to do something with the reverse grid today. And then of course we'll just take everybody out at the first corner, and then after that we should be in first place. We win the race.
I like that kind of style. Let's find out from the pole man what his plans are.
Sasol Race Day, it's a hell of a lot of pressure on us in terms of performing out there, as well as doing all media and meeting with the the VIPs there up top. So it's a great day for us. But like they say, diamonds aren't made without pressure. So we perform when we need to, and at least we had a great qualifying out there, and it was really good to be on pole. But like I said, it's only the start. We need to now turn those into race victories, and that's key.
Some final adjustments now to the cars. Get the tyre pressures right. Make sure that they are all tweaked and ready to go racing. Thumbs up all round, red lights are on, and Rob Portman joins me in commentary for the National Production Cars here at the Sasol Race Day. And it looks like going into turn one, it's a Sasol Audi that's got the drop. Bonafide's got the whole shot.
Greg, in qualifying, the top 5 were covered by half a second, so the racing is going to be thick and fast here for sure. It's between the Audis, that Ford thrown in the mix, and the Golf GTRs of Nathan and Smallberger.
On board with Michael Steven as they come out of our next con, going through speed and sound sweep now. It's all about the Audis at the front end, but look how hard Michael Van Rooyen is pushing right from the word go. On his outside, here comes Nathan, and the two of them are very evenly matched heading in there. Look out for Michael Steven trying to keep them out. He does just that, but there's a lot of pressure being applied from the back end.
We saw down in East London, Van Rooyen was really on the pace in that Chev Cruise, picking up one of the race wins, so he really wants to, we've got to slide further down the field. That looks like one of the BMW drivers, just that turn 4, so easy to do that, carry too much speed, and the car comes round.
Now also cold tyres there on the KLX BMW of Paul Hill. He got all wrong. Speaking of getting it all wrong, looks like Michael Van Rooyen just got a little bit of help there from Steven. Yeah, he's not going to be happy about that. Formato's got through too. The two of them coming together as they headed down the hill, and looks like Formato really looking to dive up the inside as they go into G&H Transport Corner.
You got to love it, Greg. They have all the track to play with, and what do? They just start bashing each other. Gary Formato said he wanted to get a little bit aggressive out there in his interview, and he's doing that at the moment. But it's still, look at the Audis using all the track and a little bit more coming out of turn 1.
Simon Moss, yeah, this is exactly what we expect out of him. He doesn't use the track, he only uses the outside of the circuit and some dirt, but managed to keep it on the line this time. Remember the last time he went off there, he actually got airborne coming onto the circuit. So here's the man we're talking about. Simon Moss in second place, looking to close down on Bonafide, but he's got some work to do. Bonafide seems to have it all sorted out.
He's got that Audi set up perfectly. He's got that Sasol race fuel in the car, and it is pulling him right out front. And this is them returning Gary Formato in that turn 1 Ford Focus. So going up the hill, he's going to try and get in the slipstream and do it on the brakes at the top of the hill. Doesn't look like he's got the pace at the moment. It's still Simon Moss in third, but he's got another very fast Michael Steven in an Audi right on his tail.
Now Moss is under pressure, massive from Henny Groenewald. Groenewald goes through. He's made it stick, and can he keep it there? Yes, he does. So Simon Moss demoted down into the clutches now of his teammate, and looking just behind there. In fact, It is Gary Formato also sneaking through and making a bit of a maneuver. Moss is falling by the wayside. Michael Stevens sneaks up alongside him, gets into G&H corner and overtakes his teammate, demoting him and putting him into the pressure that was being applied by Formato.
Right, we've got 4 Audis out front and a very hard charging Gary Formato just behind him. And there's another. That's one of the Golf GTRs who gets it all kinds of sideways. He manages to make it into turn 2. I think that was the big man, Graham Nathan. So we're seeing so much action there in turn 1. The guy's using all the track and a bit more.
Nias Modak leading things out in the Class X category. Good effort there from him, and Blichnote on his tail. The two freaks having a super run in the Mazdas. But at the front end, it is thick and fast, as you said it was going to be. Here comes Formato. On his tail is Nathan and Van Rooyen. Wow, incredible stuff. Simon Moss, you're in big trouble. And as they get onto the braking markers, there's a move on the inside. The turn 1 forward gets side by side with Nathan. Nathan runs ever so slightly wide, comes back in, and up there's inside. It's going to be Van Rooyen. Wow, incredible stuff.
4 cars at the top of the hill. It just does not go, and they're going to go down into the final left-hander onto the front straight. You can see the Nathan car still kicking up a lot of dirt, trying to get as much advantage out of the track as possible, trying to find that little tent that he needs at the moment, trying to find the pass over Van Rooyen. But out front, it's definitely the 2 Audis, Bonafide and Groenewald, with now Formato up in 3rd place. It's a good return for the man so far.
Great effort there, and pushing hard. See whether or not he can keep out Michael Steven. Formato and Steven still fighting hard. Michael Van Rooyen fighting with Graham Nathan. Nathan will probably be on his inside. Keep an eye out for the Golf, just sneaking through Yasu Speed and Sound. There he goes, and that's the return view. Wow, awesome stuff there from the cameraman to give us both on board from Michael Van Rooyen straight into Nathan as he makes the pass and into Castle Edge. A good effort there from Nathan to move up. We're coming to the checkered flag. It's Groenewald trying to keep out Michael Steven. This is for 3rd place. That is 1st place. That's the gap that Bonafide was able to pull.
What an amazing drive this has been from the DJ. Gennaro Bonafide really has controlled the race, puts it sideways as he comes to the checkered flag. Henny the flag, waving frantically. It looks like Henny Groenewald is going to hold off the challenge of Michael Steven to pick up 3rd. The battle is definitely between Formato and Simon Moss, with Graham Nathan just behind there, and Michael Van Rooyen edged out there in 7th place in his Chef Cruise.
Confirmation there, and a great start to the Sassel race day, with both the Sassel Racing team Audis ahead of the rest of the pack. Bonafide taking the win.
And race 1, I just got ahead after the first lap and just kept my head down. And I knew with the guys fighting behind me, if I just, did lap after lap as it were qualifying, I would, hopefully pull away from the guys, and that's what we did. So very, very happy that the guys have worked so hard backstage, and done it all right. The car was on rails. So massive thanks to VN Innovations and the Audi Sassel Racing team. And once again, it's great to do it on a day like this, the Sassel Race Day.
Certainly is. Now can he do it again? Remember, it's a reverse grid after the grid walk, and check how swamped these drivers got by the fans coming to join up.
Yeah,
hey, I know those people.
Yeah, that's Mrs. Maloney there with baby Maloney, but it took me about an hour to get into the track, having to sit in the queues. Massive amounts of crowd have come to watch world-class racing and four-wheeled action at its best. Like you said, reverse grid, so definitely benefiting the likes of Graham Nathan and that man Charles Smallberger, with Gennaro Bonafide have all the work to do. He's starting at the back of the grid now, so the Audis have to fight their way through ahead of those Gold Chief TRs and one very fast Ford Focus.
Now that Ford Focus is the danger man, I think, here this weekend. The Audis are looking to get through on him as quickly as possible, and you can see just how tight it's getting. Oh, already some barging as they go up the inside. This is Bonafide coming out alongside Michael Steven, and that's how close it got. Wow, what a shot to see him go on the inside of Speed and Sound Sweep. Bonafide looks in the rearview mirror and he realizes that was extremely close between him and Michael Steven. Michael Steven's actually fallen behind his teammate Groenewald as well, so the two Sassel Audis not wasting any time to get through the field and already making their way up into 4th and 5th.
This is Formato at the top of the shelf. He's going on the brakes, and look at that. The Golf GTA, all kinds of sideways. And once again, we see four cars trying to make it into that right-hander. They're going to flick it right here. Michael Van Rooyen, a better start. Remember, because of the reverse grid, he's right up there now, challenging for the win. Runs a little bit wide. He's got Formato right on his outside, heading into the final turn. And we're going to cross the line for the first lap. Look at this. We've got 9 cars in it.
Yeah, the consideration that you've got to take into account right now is that Formato, even though he's in 2nd place, Van Rooyen is pushing him hard. They have got Simon Moss on their tail, and I think there could be some issues coming along pretty shortly. Those guys are not going to hold anything back. Simon Moss usually is probably the most dangerous man on track. He's definitely the most aggressive driver in this pack, and he's not going to hold back anything to try and get around the Ford and the Chevy.
So some smoke coming out of that Chev Cruise off Van Rooyen, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. This is the battle for the Class X category. Nias Modak with the Freek Bleeknoot Jr. and Freek Bleeknoot Sr. trying to squeeze that out.
Yeah.
But out front, it's still Graham Nathan in that GTR leading the field at the moment. At the moment, the Audis really battling it. There's one of the Audis that's run off. That's Bonafide.
Bonafide running wide. I think he just might have tried a little bit too hard to go on the inside of Castrol Edge and sneak past on his teammate. Cost him dearly, and he's now back on track, but fortunately just ahead of the Class X category. So he's still got some time to make up. Coming onto the braking markers, that is side-by-side action from Nathan's point of view of the Ford and the Chevy as they come through turn 7, heading down towards G&H Transport Corner. The Chev's got the inside line, should have what it takes on the brakes. He's done it. He goes up the inside, but look at Moss. Where are you going, Simon Moss? There's no line there, bud. Where did you even think you could make that pass stick? Goes through, pushes Van Rooyen wide, and the Ford also loses out as 2 Audis come through of Grunewald and Michael Steven.
Greg, the mechanics must just look at this racing and just hold their heads in their hands and think, we've got so much, we've just fixed your cars, and now you've gone and done this to us. But look at this, Graham Nathan, because of all that bashing and barging behind him, has got a comfortable lead now.
Yeah, good effort there from the big guy. He's got away nicely. Problems though for Van Rooyen. You can see he's slowing dramatically. Nice run here from Ryan Quanchai. He's making a welcome return to production cars. The first outing here as Paul Hill goes off at Renexcon Corner, just ahead of yours truly. The first outing I was going to say with Ryan Quanchai, he had a massive accident in the 111 race, and he actually didn't even make the start grid for NPCs. Here's the onboard view from Michael Van Rooyen coming out of G&H Transport Corner, losing 4 car positions due to the incident with Simon Moss going up his inside.
Oh, Michael Van Rooyen just got bullied there, and we saw him actually slow down coming out of turn 2, and we're seeing him dropping down the timing sheet, so it looks like he's not going to pick up any points in this race. This is the battle at the moment. Gary Formato, he's got on the tail there of Michael Steven, and that is Henny Grunewald now in a comfortable second, trying to chase down the GTI of Graham Nathan out front, but I don't know if he's got enough laps to do that.
Yeah, I think that's what's the problem. He's going to run out of laps here, and unfortunately, due to the argy-bargies, hasn't been able to close in on the Volkswagen Financial Services and Volkswagen Motorsport GTI there of Nathan. This man has had no worries whatsoever. We're on the final lap, and Modak, even though he's got Fiat Brooklode on his tail, I don't think it's going to be trouble for the second win in Class X.
Graham Nathan is heading to turn 4 for the final time and up the hill, and it doesn't look like Henny Grunewald is close enough. Nathan looks in his rearview mirror, sees he's got a comfortable gap. He's just got to get around these last couple of turns with no hassles, but the dice is definitely on for 3rd place. That is Michael Steven on the inside of Gary Formato. Oh, great driving there from Gary Formato. He saw that Steven was on the tight line and was going to leave the door open and just cut that Ford Focus back, and he's now up into 3rd place.
Good deal of driving there. Excellent return for Gary Formato and the turn 1 Ford. The SMD group backing that man, of course, now that Ford have pulled out, and a great effort from Nathan as he comes through to take race 2 victory ahead of Henny Grunewald. Gary Formato comes ahead and beats out Michael Steven to the line. Bonafide recovered nicely to 5th, beating out Simon Moss, and Smallberger just ahead of Modak, who wins out Class X. The most aggressive driver in that race, of course, was Simon Moss. Let's go and find out what his idea of turn 8 was.
Gary ran wide, and Michael was ahead of him, and I went to overtake, and when I got into the apex of the corner, basically, I didn't have any room left, and I got turned into. So basically, from my perspective, I went for the move, and you can't complete a move if you're going to get turned in on.
The big man taking a victory once again in the Volkswagen GTI.
Gary and Michael and Simon came together, so I got given a bit of a breather, and I just capitalized on it, put my head down, made a bit of a gap, and stayed there. Henny was coming very strong at the end, but I managed to hang on to the end, yeah, I'm very stoked for the car.
Remember, we've got Sasol fuel in the cars for National Production Cars, and we've got some Sasol VIPs joining us for the 15th running of the Sasol Race Day. Great to have them all on board and here at the circuit, and they were loving life with all the activations being done by Sasol. Now it's time to get the final preparations done, and unfortunately some teams with more work to do than others, but hopefully we'll get all cars back on the grid. And it looks like that's exactly what's happened. Henny Grunewald probably looking to get a victory here in the final one, as Gennaro Bonafide is on pole after setting the fastest lap in race number 1. Lights out, and here we go. Down towards turn 1. Bonafide's got a good start, but can he keep Henny Grunewald out through turn number 1? Remember, turn 1, BMW Performance corner, not an easy corner to get right, especially if you're on the outside. And it looks like Grunewald had to settle for 2nd place. Going down into turn 2, Renexcon corner now. The GTI of Nathan is side by side with one of the Engine Extreme Audis, and you can see just how hard these guys are going to have to push now. This is what it's all about, the final race of the day for production cars.
It's good to see Michael Van Rooyen has managed to fix whatever problems he had in race number 2 with that Chef Cruz, and he's out there, and I'm sure he will be wanting to get some revenge on Simon Moss going into that final turn. So he really is a man on the charge at the moment, but he's got a Golf GTR right in his tail. Bonafide is the man out front. We saw in race 1 when he was out front, he was hard to beat, and this is definitely a big dice going on here between the GTRs and the Audis again. Oh, there's one of the Audis that spun. That looks like that is Simon Moss. We were just talking about Van Rooyen trying to get revenge. It doesn't look like he has to, as Moss has made the mistake at the top of the hill.
It looked like he might have done it all on his own, Sim. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get the first part of that crash, following through with the leaders as they went through. But incredible stuff once again from Famato. Up there into third place, right behind the two Sassel Audis. Here's a review as they head up towards the top of the hill into Sassel corner. Van Rooyen on the inside. Ooh, retribution is a word I'd like to use right there, because that's exactly what Michael Van Rooyen, I think, was doing there. And yes, Simon Moss at the back of the field.
Van Rooyen, anything you can do, I can do better. Certainly at the top of the hill there, and that really has opened up the field now. Bonafide is out front. Graham Nathan not happy with Gary Famato there. A couple of hand signals at the top of the hill. He's going to do it on the brakes on the inside now, so I wonder what that was all about. But Famato's now going to sit behind the GTR man, and I'm sure that's not the last pass we see from these two.
Yeah, I think what Graham was saying is, come on, let's get a move on. Let's get up to those Audis and work together, because unfortunately with the front-wheel drive cars, that's exactly what you have to do. The Quattro system cars are not going to be allowed next season, so it's all or nothing right now for these front-wheel drive guys. And Nathan, I think, thinks he's got a slight edge over the Ford. Big Sassel flames coming out of Paul Hill's KLX BMW as Detroit tries to go on his inside. Hey, what's with the G&H Transport corner and Audi's trying to cut the curb?
Great racing all the way through the field. Yeah, Nias Modak is still leading in the Class X. Ryan Kwanchai is now up into second in that class with Mark Totoy. We saw that battle there. But up front here now, Gary Famato is starting to charge through the field. That he's got now ahead of Henny Groenewald. But watch the Audi power up the hill. He's on the outside. Famato's got the line. He's going to have to give way to Famato at the top of the hill, who takes a very defensive line. You can see that because he knows he's trying to make up the gap on Graham Nathan ahead of him. And look at that right behind him there. That's Michael Stephen on the charge now as well.
Yeah, the one thing I'm worried about with Henny Groenewald's point of view is he seems to be losing a little bit of power. And round his outside comes the Engine Extreme Audi, and yeah, that's not a place that you would normally lose position, especially Henny Groenewald and the kind of experience he's got in a saloon car. So I'm not quite sure if that Audi's firing on all cylinders like it usually does, and that's why he's gone from possibly fighting for a win down into 5th place. Now, I know he had to change an engine earlier on, so maybe it's not quite up to the swan song that they'd like at the Sassel race day. He's now under pressure from that Williams Hunt Chevy Cruze, and I think Michael Van Rooyen will just tick him off just like the rest of the cars have.
Not the weekend Scholl Smallberger would have wanted. He's down in 7th at the moment, a pretty lonely 7th place, but definitely not lonely as Henny Groenewald. He's got Michael Van Rooyen right on his tail in that Chef Cruze, and I'm sure we could see a pass on the inside here. No, Groenewald goes very defensive, but what that's going to do, it's going to allow Van Rooyen to get the drive up the hill and potentially put a pass on the brakes at the top of the hill, and hopefully not do what he did to Simon Moss.
Well, he goes alongside him coming out and tries to get him along the drive. Can he get him on the brakes now? It's very late braking from Van Rooyen. He's got through. Yeah, Van Rooyen just getting ahead there and sneaking ahead of the second of the Sassel Audis. The checkered flag is waiting for his teammate, though, as Bonafide's going to come through and make it 2 wins out of 3 for the day. What a way to end the day for the Sassel Racing team. That's what they wanted. Another fantastic victory there for Gennaro Bonafide, and he's a happy man.
He's going to be DJing all out tonight, that's for sure. 2 race wins. That's going to do his championship all kinds of good. So it was Bonafide at the end. Graham Nathan, a good charge into second with Famato. Another podium finish for the day.
Michael Stephen beating out Henny Groenewald, then Michael Van Rooyen being dropped down into 6th place, ahead of Smallberger. Class X eventually going to Nias Modak, but in the championship heading to Desi's Raceway, it's Groenewald that now leads out by 9 points over Michael Stephen, Bonafide into 3rd and Nathan in 4th. We caught up with Gary Famato to find out how the day went.
With the bigger tyres that we run this year, we haven't been able to capitalise in qualifying and get the car up the grid enough, so it makes it quite difficult in the first race. But listen, we had fun today. It was good racing. Hope the crowd enjoyed it. It's a nice crowd out here today. So we look forward to being back sometime soon.
Another unbelievable day there for big man Graham Nathan.
Great job for the car. It did a great job all weekend. My team, superb job. Dean, everybody involved there. Dean, Chris, Peter. I can't say thank you enough. Steve Green, the whole bunch of you, everybody involved, thank you very much. I can't mention them all. And my sponsors, Volkswagen Financial Services, Volkswagen Motorsport and Volkswagen, and all the people out there who love the brand. Great job, great brand, keep it going. Thank you very much.
Gennaro Bonafide coming out of this with 2 wins. Awesome effort from the Sassel team.
The car did exactly what I wanted to do, you know, every single lap. I must thank the guys. You know, for me, it might look like it's easy out there, but it's not. You know, you're pushing every lap, hitting your brake markers, but the equipment let me do it. And the Sasol Techno fuels and Techno oils are, you know, Sasol turbo fuels are just fantastic. You know, the lubes are just incredible. So we have to thank them. And on a home race like this, it's fantastic to get such good results for the team and for myself. I think our championship is back in the running now.
Big celebrations on the podium there. And looking forward to heading down to Desi's Raceway in the